Hello to all. This is Alejandro Bratti and William B. Isley from Unlock Clarity, and welcome to Spanglish World Networks on Singo TV, channel 250. Please remember to download both the Singo TV app on their respective iStores on iOS and Android devices. While you download, make sure to rate and leave a comment. The app is free and it's available in Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire, Roku, and all smart TVs. Today, we are so happy that we continue with our series of programs from surviving to thriving. So we're going to have a lot of fun today. William, how are you?
I am doing well. Could use a nap, but otherwise I'm doing well.
Oh, I can use a nap too. So we had a very interesting week this week with the pollution and other things in Mexico City, but at least today feels that it's a much better day. So I am happy about that.
This is good.
The program today it's about rituals, so we are going to go a little bit deep there. But before that, we want to welcome everybody. To recap what we have covered so far, we have talked about becoming more self-aware. Self-awareness is key to start any of the process, any part of the process. If we don't have self-awareness, we can have this conversation right now. So if you have any questions of self-awareness, what is the thing that I need to do, we have recorded that in our YouTube channel, in our social media. You can go directly to YouTube / Believe Now, and you can go directly there, and it's the program is there, and you can find it there. So the other part is how we can handle difficult emotions to shift from depletion or from surviving or from feeling that you are just trying to get to the next day into thriving.
Absolutely. And it's absolutely important to remember the inner work. So today, we wanted to discuss how to anchor the insights that we've talked about the last few weeks into real change through easy daily rituals. And think of it like as a simple and meaningful practice that we can do in the morning, the evening, the afternoon, whenever it needs to happen.
And I love it. And really, we are very honest with you always. And for example, in my case, when we were preparing this program, talking about rituals, I had another perception of what was rituals. And really, in the investigation and the talking with William, and we like discussing about what we were going to talk, we really found like how rituals are something very powerful and so different from habits. So we're going to go deep in that area. Rituals cement insights into being, not just fleeting concepts. When we intentionally revisit our vision every day, it sticks faster, and that's what we want. Is you can stick faster to the thing that you really want. Rituals ground us to show up in power. That is powerful, and it was amazing when I found it.
Yeah, it's these daily practices that transform much better than occasional ones. We'll definitely share templates on making starting rituals feel less intimidating. It will kickstart the momentum, and then you can customize. You can't steer a car or a bicycle unless it's moving. So the important, as busy leaders, it's important to have effective daily alignment anchors and not the time wasters. So let's work on making thriving more realistic.
So incredible, but even when we weren't planning for this week, we received this. Let me check if we can put it in the show. 1 second. Okay, it's there.
Ooh.
So This week I received this message and I was like, wow, this is incredible because even the way it's explained is something very easy to understand and very simple. So I start to see like the difference between religion and spirituality. So we are completely connected with the idea of spirituality. Everything that we are doing here in Unlock Clarity is about spirituality, having a spiritual life, how you can improve your spiritual life. Everything about from surviving to thriving has the meaning of spirituality behind. Rituals have a spirituality behind, and that's why we want to talk about spirituality and the difference between religion and spirituality, because that is going to explain a little bit of what we mean. Religion, and we are not saying that worshiping God is wrong. We are not saying that, but in religion, you are just doing that. In spirituality, we're encouraging oneness with God. We are one with God. We can connect and be one with God. We were created at His image. We are one with God. In religion, God is outside of you, and in spirituality, God is within you. And that's exactly what we are talking about. It's not a God that is in the on heaven and He is just thinking about, okay, who to punish on earth
Who
because
can
it's not
kill today?
exactly, you are not behaving the way you should be doing it. You can continue with the next one, William.
Okay. Oh yeah. Religion could a thing to remember is when in the King James version at least when Paul wrote that God is a spirit and those that worship him must do it in spirit and in truth. I didn't grow up with any kind of definition of spirit or truth. And so this is what we're working through now is a definition of that because religion is the gateway to spirituality, at least it's supposed to be. So then religion, it separates people who have different beliefs. Spirituality goes through and unifies people regardless of their beliefs. And what I learned in religion is that it taught me to be afraid of hell. And when I found spirituality in the 12 steps of Overeaters Anonymous, it taught me that it that I could create heaven on earth. And so then we want to help you understand how to create heaven on earth because you've probably pretty good at creating your own hell, so let's move beyond that.
Mm.
And I'll take this when you can get the last two. And then realistically, religion practiced properly is based on fear and restriction, and yet what God wants us to be based in is love and freedom.
So the next two, and really we are not entering to discuss, and we are not writing and talking about this to discuss about this. It's about like sharing what are our values and what is behind of everything that we are doing here. So again, something that we see in religion is feels like being a single drop in the ocean. What we believe with spirituality feels like being the entire ocean in a single drop. And that is amazing how, and that's exactly what quantum physics is in quantum physics you can understand the whole universe with understanding a single atom. So it's exactly that, what we are saying here. Religion is based on others experience. It's like, oh, let's see what Paul, and it's okay, we are learning from others, that is fine. But spirituality is what is your personal experience, what is exactly what is happening with you personally. So
Absolutely. That's
we
awesome.
wanted to start with this just to write like the foundation of everything that we are talking here, and understanding these points between religion and spirituality can really help you to start to move from the surviving mode to the thriving mode. That start to be like, oh, well, God is within me, and I am one with God, and I am one with William, and I am one with even that person that I am fighting against. So if I have the ability to start to see that I am one with everyone, no, but Alejandro, I can be one with that guy that is making all the wrong decisions in my life and is creating all the mess that I have. Okay, maybe you don't see it now, but you are energy right now, and that person is also energy, and understanding that we are one with everything can change everything. So but let's go to the point that we wanted to talk today, why rituals matter and why we want to talk about rituals today. So the first point is, what's the difference between rituals and habits? So both are powerful, but with the explanation that we are going to, we were also understanding from our point of view, like, wow, rituals are more important. I That for me was like open my head to really want to do rituals even when I didn't understand it in this profound way. So it's important to clarify that rituals have a more intentional spiritual grounding than habits. Things like sacred pause versus mechanical routine. So it's a ritual is something that I am pausing and I am taking the time to be present here and now.
Another way to think of using rituals in your day is situational awareness. And what I've discovered is that folks that are grounded in habits, at least the ones that I've seen, don't have a whole lot of situational awareness. They just do. And so, yeah, okay. Um, so then the habits, they drive the unconscious default behaviors. They don't require thought. Well, and apparently my life is entirely run by rituals, by decisions, because I don't do very many habits at all. It just doesn't work that way. And so then we want to remember that rituals are consciously connecting, and they connect us to meaning and to vision. Um, it's like a calming prayer amidst a swirl of chaos versus, say, a smoking addiction that just gets us a small hit for a couple of seconds.
And also, when we are talking about smoking addiction, is really a habit. That it's a habit. Uh, like it or not, when you are smoking and you have the addiction to smoke every time that you are feeling anxious, that it's a habit. A bad habit, but it's a habit. So here in the ritual, you want to connect and see what you are doing. So one thing that we love, and that's why I believe we connected since the first time that we have a conversation with William more than a year and a half, maybe ago, like a long time ago. Uh, Something that he was talking about is, I am a scientist spiritualist, and it's like, okay, I a scientific spiritualist.
Scientific spiritualists, yeah.
So it's like using science and connecting science with spiritualism at the same time. And now that we have this definition of what is the difference between spirituality and religion, and also connected that with science, like, and science is when we start to find ways to, and that you can replicate and suddenly that becomes science, because you can replicate the same things a million of times, and every time works because it's aligned with laws, universal laws that are working everywhere all the time. So talking about that, research affirms like daily meditation, and we know that every single program that we have, we talk about this meditation, having this time of mindfulness where you are connecting with yourself, you are connecting with the God within you, and start to change how your brain and all the neural pathways start to connect in a better way and a better position. Rituals cement that resilience when difficulty strikes. So that thing that you are doing when you are feeling good, suddenly when you are feeling bad, you have very good pathways that can help you to move from there quicker.
Yep. They act as anchors in the flowing seas of constant change that we find ourselves in, which is called life. And sometimes our head spaces, they feel frenzied when we're at work. And so then that grounded ritual reminds us that anxiety lies not in the events themselves, it's in the way that we respond to them, our relationship to them.
Exactly, like that's exactly what we're meaning. So when overwhelming transition hit, diagnosis, something, a diagnosis, a new baby, a job loss, rituals restore agency. We touch what matters most right here amidst loving family and a community, overflowing endless strength for the road ahead together.
And just a quick aside though. Some of us didn't understand what the word agency was until somebody else explained it. And it's an interesting term. It's talking about us and our response ability to situations. Agency gives us our power. It means that we can act instead of just react. And I love that definition.
Me too. That's exactly, and that helps a lot to understand better. So,
So then, it's just remember that rituals reinforce that we're far greater than any identity that life, any disruption to our identity that life throws at us. They ground us in eternal connection. And each new day gives us an opportunity to make meaning. However it unfolds, we get to flow instead of bump down the river. So then,
go ahead.
Take it away, Alejandro.
Why rituals matter? Rituals are not just solitary habits, but offer a sense of harmony and structure. Think daily meditation versus, again, the smoking. It's like the meditation, one is conscious and has a connection, a meaning, and a connection. The other one is unconscious and it's an addiction.
Yep. So let's work on some other examples here. Part of a ritual could be walking in nature, taking a moment to appreciate the beauty of the surroundings, and actually connecting to the environment. And a habit would be scrolling through social media without thinking, without paying attention to the content, or worrying about engaging in meaningful interactions. Yeehaw.
And that's key, what we are saying here. So rituals, and the big difference between a ritual and a habit is that rituals drive intentionality. There is an intention behind, and I want to be present in that one. There is a pause of grounding us in a vision versus just a routine that is mechanical. And we are not saying that habits are a wrong thing, but we are just creating the difference of what we mean when we are talking about rituals and why we are pushing rituals, because there is a meaning behind, and I am doing it consciously. And even when I am doing it every single day, I am connecting with myself when I am doing that. And it's not only a mechanical routine that, yeah, I meditate every morning, but every meditation is different because I am present and I am feeling different things and I am connecting in a different way. So it's not an autopilot, even when I am doing it every single morning.
An autopilot seems to be easy for some people, not for me. Yeah. And going back to what you were saying about the ritual in the the meditation in the morning, before you start the workday. I mean, let's bring in some intentionality here. You set a clear intention, a purpose, a vision for your day, and you focus on the priorities, and you cultivate a positive mindset. And we've discussed mindset in previous episodes. That's a whole lot to unpack.
Mm.
Now, let's look at a mechanical habit that's on autopilot. And we rush through our morning routine without even thinking, without even paying attention. We just go through the motions without any deliberate thought or purpose. And you folks who can do this, I have incredible respect for you, because I don't know how that happens. I was a little off this morning. We went to a friend's wedding yesterday, and this morning in the hotel, I was a little off, and I did the first part of my stretching and strengthening routine, and then I had to think real hard what came next. I've been doing this for 25 years in one form or fashion, and I still have to think what comes next. So that's what I want to say is, you folks who can do the habit thing and the unconscious do and do and do, I have incredible respect for you all. It's amazing. Anyway.
And I can say that normally I was more in the other side, on the habit side, where I started to connect like all the things in a habit, and suddenly I have everything in automatic, and that is helping me to do everything. That was my way of working, really. But that was exactly, in my side, was exactly the opposite. From being in autopilot to starting to connect, to be mindful about what you are doing and how you can connect, and start to feel how even the water, when I am taking a shower, is hitting my head. I'm feeling the water. I'm feeling amazing and grateful about that. It's like, oh, I am enjoying even a shower. That is amazing. So at the end, that's part of what we try to bring here. It's like a different experience. William has one experience, I have another one, and it's okay. And both are okay. And the way that, so, but even in these two things that you are seeing here, explains also how we can get to the same point of, I am one with William, and the God within me is within him, and it's the same one, and we can connect and start to share with others, with millions here, all this power. So let's go to the next one. Like, why cultivating resilience is important, because there are some moments that is really needed. So studies show brief daily meditation physically, and this is incredible because physically changes neural pathways for resilience over time. And really, I have seen it, and I can show you, maybe next time I can show you, but there are some scans from the brain that you can see a brain that is making meditation and a brain that is not making meditation, and how everything changes physically in the brain. And that is amazing. Now, imagine the anchor of already ingrained rituals when crisis hit. That's what we want to talk about here.
Yeah. Let's take the COVID-19 pandemic. It's like when that hit, lots of people experienced increased stress and anxiety. I wonder why. So then, to cultivate resilience, some people actually engaged in daily meditation practices. And as we've already mentioned, they can reduce stress and they can improve mental well-being. And so then those who understood how to practice mindfulness, they didn't necessarily stress out when all of this hit. I guess that would be me, because I didn't stress out when all of this hit.
So rituals reinforce truth. And that's what we want to say with this. We are far greater than any identity disruption life brings. COVID-19 was a life identity disruption that was affecting directly people's identity, like the fear that overcome everywhere, like like everybody was with fear, like, okay, if that happens, I'm going to die, so I don't want to have that virus in myself, and I have to clean everything. Like, so they ground, and the rituals are going to ground connection to refresh our perspective when we are overwhelmed, and that is critical. So it's like, okay, I see this crazy world and everything that is happening outside, and everybody is bombarding me with information about COVID. Okay, but I have a ritual where I connect with myself. I close my eyes and I connect with myself. I ground myself, and in this grounding, I can find peace.
Absolutely. So here's a sample ritual idea. Try voicing 3 empowering I am statements. And let's just focus on entrepreneurs as grounding your unwavering self-confidence that you can weather the storms. I am boldly resilient, quickly adapting to serve the highest good. I am deeply connected to divine wisdom and directed by inspired action. I am abundantly blessed to be a blessing, freely sharing my gifts. Or some other I am statements that of your choice that feel okay.
And these are very, very powerful because are connecting directly with your identity. When you are saying I am deeply connected, even when I know that I am not at this moment, my subconscious is going to start to create situations and things to show me that I am. So it's not that fake it until you make it. We are not talking about that. We are talking about.
I've done that a lot, though. I've done that a lot. It works, but we're not talking about that here.
Yeah, that's not what we are saying. And I know everybody has been like in that position. I am faking it until I make it. But right now we are talking about start to tell to your subconscious who you are and not allow everybody else to tell you who you are. No, you are a very afraid person. So in my case, for example, I do it a lot with my kids. It's like if they don't realize who they are, I am going to tell I am statements like this for them. Like, you are amazing, you are powerful, you are, and they start to go, wow, really that? I am that? Yes, I believe that. And they start to bring that version of them to life. So you could incorporate physical movement when you are doing this I am statement. You can stretch on words like resilient when you are saying like I am boldly resilient. Like you are putting a lot of information there, or even feeling, or abundantly to help your body to like start to embody the qualities declared in faith. So it's not like I am boldly resilient. I am deeply connected to divine wisdom. I am abundantly blessed to be blessing. No, we are talking about pushing and putting a lot of energy. And to have energy there, you need to put emotions. I am bodily resilient. I am deeply connected. Like you are going directly, and your subconscious is like, wow, that's who you are. Okay, I need to bring that to the table, you know?
Oh, that's awesome. So then, let's look for an example of an anchor around a more serene moment. Let's bring a little eye of the hurricane into the hurricane, into the chaos. It's like set and gaze at a flickering candle. I mean, let it serve as an anchor for your mind and a beacon of calm in this storm. With each flicker, picture an attachment to the outcome burning away. Invite the wisdom of your spirit into those unknown, in those spaces of not knowing. It's okay not to know. You can let the gentle light illuminate all the shadows inside and bring them to the surface, and or burn them away, depending on where you are in this process. And so then it becomes easier to let the process of self-discovery liberate you from the unseen control that these things have. And in unlocking clarity, we want to empower you with newfound clarity and inner peace.
So the next point that we want to talk is about expanding the establishing consistency. So to pave the brain pathway for ritual consistency, faster piggyback new practices onto existing habits. Cues already formed from, like, for example, morning routine, like I have a morning coffee and I'm going to connect a ritual to that moment of the morning coffee, or I connect that ritual to the time that I am going to bed. So that it's a way to create quick ways to like secure that we are having a consistency in anything that we are doing.
Yeah. So then a lot of us have this wonderful habit of, when we wake up, we reach for the phone or some other implement to start working or to numb out. And so maybe before that, pause to voice your empowering mantras, or even stretch mindfully, or you can do them both at the same time. I have a stretching and strengthening ritual that I do almost every morning. And so then you're already going to grab your phone, or you're already going to do this, that, or the other. So then add in that new piece and set some intentionality, give yourself some power back. And so the aim over time is to have inspiring rituals that pull us up so that we have some extra energy, some oomph to begin the day, instead of just pushing through it and have nothing to live for.
So here, the other thing that we know that happens a lot with rituals, with habits, is there is a resistance that starts to come. And overcoming resistance to ritual consistency is key. When we are aware, we have the self-awareness, we can do something about it. If I am not aware, I can't do anything about it. So life happens, ritual are going to start to compete against some chaos that we have. Oh, I changed because yesterday I went to a wedding and today I was in another place, not in the place that I am normally am. So suddenly there is chaos. How you can connect your rituals to that chaos? So in your experience, what are significant changes that can, while you're striving to establish a routine, something, a new practice, what are the things that you can do?
And and so let's explore some resistance examples. Feeling overwhelmed, lacking the time to commit to the daily rituals, no matter how short they are. Let's imagine a busy professional named Sarah. She wants to establish a daily meditation practice, and she struggles to find the time in the middle of her hectic work schedule. Wow. So, Alejandro, what can she do to overcome this resistance?
So the first thing that Sarah needs to do is acknowledge that finding time for meditation is a challenge, but realize the long-term benefits. And that is, at least for Alejandro, and I am being honest with me, that's the way everything works. I need to find out what are the long terms of everything that I'm doing. And I study. That's why I have a lot of books, because I want to learn, like, and I am telling to my subconscious, like, okay, they think when you start to learn how to breathe better, your life is going to be better. Learn to breathe better. And by the book of breathing and understanding that and why sleep matters, and I start to find things and what is science telling me. So I know the benefits, and suddenly I can do it. It's like now I know that I need to sleep 7 to 8 hours to really have a better life. Oh, but I don't know. That's only thing that no. I have read all the scientific base evidence, so now I know how to do it even when I don't feel that I want to do it. So that's one of the things. Acknowledging that finding time for meditation is a challenge, but there is a lot of long-term benefits.
And that's the important part, is identify those long-term benefits and put them into rituals so that they happen as a decision, and not just automatically, but as a decision of this is why it's very important. So then once Sarah understands what's going on, then it's possible to identify the small pockets of time in the day, 10 minutes in the morning or during the lunch break, and you make the commitment to yourself to meditate during those specific times, or whatever it is, your chair stretching routine, whatever that particular ritual is. Yeah.
So Sarah sets realistic expectations and start with a short-term meditation. Maybe it's a 1 minute meditation and it's okay. Maybe it's a 2 minute meditation and it's okay. We are not thinking about like, oh, you never meditate before and now you have to be a monk and meditate for 2 hours. No, to something very little that you can start to do. And gradually you're going to find like, oh, but 1 minute is not enough. I need more. I can do 5 minutes and you can do it. And you start to increase and be, but the most important thing is much better that you do every single day for 1 minute than one day of the week for 10 minutes. It's much better 1 minute for each day.
Yeah. And maybe that's a show that we need to put in here somewhere, of what does meditation mean, because we have this wonderful Eastern idea of what meditation is. And for those of us in the West who have pseudo ADD, or in my case, real ADHD, I can't clear my frickin' mind. So meditation looks different for us than it does over there. Grow up with it. And so then meditation could be closing your eyes and breathing and just letting all the thoughts go through and try to grab them. I mean, that's what it is for me sometimes, but I've gotten to the point where I can do that for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, just with my eyes closed and just watch all the thoughts go by and not even try and clear my mind, because that doesn't happen. So then in Sarah's case, finding ways to meditation more accessible, there's a bunch of guided meditation apps that are an option, and then using walking meditation, practicing mindfulness, or while she's commuting if she's in a city, that kind of stuff.
She can also be seeking for support, maybe a meditation group, like a group of people that is learning how to meditate. There is a lot of Vipassana, for example, meditation groups that you can go and start to have it, or in yoga. Like the idea is to find people that is like-minded, that are looking for this daily ritual that you are looking for. So you can start to create this sense of accountability and encouragement.
So then, what is Sarah's outcome? So by taking these small steps to walk through the resistance, she can find creative ways to incorporate meditation into the busy schedule. And this establishes the consistent daily practice that definitely positively impacts her well-being and overall productivity. Even in the middle of chaos, take a deep breath, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and just push out that frustration. Another one if you need it. Sometimes that's all it needs to clear your brain.
And it has been like this week. I started to, that kids, they normally live in this state even when we don't know it. And I realized that every time that one of my kids had a problem, maybe I have a headache, it's like, okay, I have a solution. Here is a pill that you can take to fix that problem. Or you can take this easily. And suddenly, for example, this week happened 2 times, no, 3 times, with one of my kids, and he was like, "Daddy, I have a headache." And the next thing that I asked him is like, "Okay, can you close your eyes right now?" And I start to hear what is that headache telling you. And he was like, "I don't know, Daddy. What is he telling me? I don't know." And he's like, "Okay, but just breathe and feel that pain." I don't know. Okay, no worries. Do you feel something? And now, even if you feel something or not, start to imagine what do you want to have instead of that pain. And the first time, it was like, I don't know. And I did it like 2 or 3 times. But the third time that I did it at this moment, I am not saying in 3 days different, in the same moment. The third time is like, Daddy, that went out like 50%. I was able to improve the pain for 50%. Okay, that's exactly what we want. That's what William is saying right now. When you breathe that emotion, you can take out the power that it has inside of you. So I saw it with the kids, and they can be lying to you, but really help a lot.
Yes, indeed. So we have.
I mean, to finish. So
10 minutes. Yeah, this is going to be at least a 2-part. We want to have said that up front. This is going to be a 2-part topic, and so then
yeah, maybe we talk this part that we have here, and then
and then we'll come back in 2 or 3 episodes for this particular topic. So yeah, let's do that. Now, let's talk about to-do lists. We all have to-do lists, and when they get too long, the enthusiasm to do goes away. And then what happens is then there's this temptation. Oh, wait, I've got so much to do. Let me just skip this meditation thing. Yeah, it won't hurt me. I can get another thing done. By this end, that's when I start spiraling. That's when it's almost as if you've ever seen like a video of a slime mold or some other thing that all these tendrils go out. And that's what happens in my brain. It's like, oh, I need to do this. I need to do this. I need to do this. And my brain just overreacts, and I get lost in all of that. So, yeah, what would have given me peace of mind goes away.
And I have been there like a lot of times. Again, talking about family. We are in a family dinner with my kids, with my wife, and that happened a couple of times even this week. We are there, and suddenly there is a lot of tension, and because we like didn't connect with the ritual of gratitude of, okay, we are grateful that we are here, we are grateful that we have this food here, we are grateful because we were busy. And it's like, okay, we need to have a dinner, but at the same time we need to run because in the next 5 minutes we need to get to the bathroom and have a shower because you need to sleep early because you need to go to school tomorrow. So suddenly everything is so quick.
Yeah. So then let's think about this paradox. It's only by building those tiny resets in can you actually finish more. And it builds up a reservoir of focus, renewed focus, rather than depleting your willpower. We have a decision tank. We wake up with it full every day, and we go to sleep with it empty every day. And so that's one of the reasons why people say do the hard stuff first thing, because, yeah. And then by piggybacking these mini mindfulness breaks in between tasks, it pretty much stabilizes the side of the mountain so that you don't have an avalanche of overwhelm.
And I love that. Like, instead of being intimidating, separate practice, you refresh alignment to efficient a lot of many like micro times, like location check-ins during the road trip, or calibrating what we are going through. And that's at the end what we are looking is how we can have micro times to align ourselves. Like, I know who I am and I know who I want to be. I decided that at the beginning of the day. But if I am not like checking during the day several times, just a quick, oh, I remember that I told that today I want to be, I want to show care and I want to inspire people. Maybe in the afternoon, after fighting with my wife or having a discussion with my kid or fighting with my boss or fighting, suddenly I forgot about my ritual that I have in the morning and the situation and everything that I created. So having this micro and something that helps me, and for me, you know that with the cell phone you can put reminders, and I put sometimes 3 4 reminders telling me, Alejandro, remind to breathe and to connect to your purpose. That's it. And suddenly it's like, yeah, oh, remind, breathe. Okay, breathe. What is my purpose? That's it. And that is going to be our recommendation for this week. Between this week and next week program is to continue breathing and start to notice how you can create these micro times where you are realigning with who you are, and tell us next week how was it. And even if you're listening to this later, tell us how was it. Tell us how, if you had that time and what happened with that time. You're going to find a lot of amazing things there.
Yes, absolutely. This was an awesome show. Thank you.
I love it, and thank you everyone that was here with us today. Next week we are going to have the second part of this same program, even when we have a series of From Surviving to Thriving. Next week we are going to be talking about compassion, empathy, sympathy, and kindness. There is a big difference between them, and how we can start to connect with what is really important. When we are going to do something about meditation and anchoring, how we can anchor and reframe the things that we want to reframe. So thank you everyone for being here with us. We really enjoy having time with you, and we are so honored to be here talking with you and really having a fun time about this. So if you have some questions about previous programs, just go to the other programs in our social media and you can listen to that. This show can also be heard on Spanglish Radio Network. Please check out spanglishworld.ca for all the news and programming. Spanglish World, watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and leave it. Thank you all. See you next week.